Hi, this is Eric Beyer of Old Vine, Texas, your premier Texas wine tasting room in DFW, featuring 100% Texas wineries from all over the state. We are located at 403 East Broad Street in Mansfield, Texas, inside of the Ancora Event Center. We have weekly tastings, charcuterie, pizza, plenty of wines by the glass, and live music. Our wine club brings you an extended taste of Texas and other great perks. You can visit our website at oldvinetexas.com to sign up for our newsletter, check our open hours, and see special events and classes and more. Or you can find us on Facebook and Instagram at Old Vine, Texas. We'll see you soon.
Not a blending grape. It's from Bordeaux, and it's blended around the world. In fact, the reason I planted it, because everybody needs a cash cow. This isn't a hobby.
Yeah.
And so, but this one is so great. I've had people ask me to grow it, and that's fine, but I'm still not selling any of my grapes. And so that is almost 2 years of neutral oak. At the very, very end, I was like, oh. And so I just hugged her with some Hungarian and American oak. Well, I don't think we have a full glass that one for you. I have more wine we'll have when we get it done. How's that? Sorry. I didn't know what I was going to be pouring. I thought this is a great way to finish off these bottles.
Finish off the bottle. We'll take care of it.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'll pour you a full glass of the Premier when you finish that one. How's that? Because that's the bottle's full. And you'll like it. It's a totally different story.
Okay.
All right.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
I've been looking forward to this for a very long time. You know that, right?
Well, I'm glad you're here.
The first time we met,
yes.
I fell in love with your wine and stuff.
Thank you.
And I tell everybody that comes from Dallas-Fort Worth, comes down here to visit, I tell them, come visit you.
Come to the Diamond.
Yeah.
The hidden gem, right?
I tell them, come visit you. That you have an amazing Tannat.
Thank you.
I love your Tannat. I'm not a big Tannat fan. So Landon has a Tannat that is now 10 years old, and it's finally starting to soften up.
Okay.
4 years ago, though, I couldn't drink it. It was like eating earth is what it was.
Right.
And it starts softening up. Now, it's not as tannic. It still has a little tannic into it, but it's not as earthy. It's not like chewing through it.
I know. I have a whole theory on that.
So, literally, that bottle got released. We came down here and did Rustic Spur.
Right.
She had grams. And I fell in love with it. I'm like, what is this? She goes, this is Tannat. And I was like, don't lie to me like that.
I know.
You don't lie to me like that. She goes, yeah, it's Tannat.
Yeah.
And I actually fell in love with it. And so I've been searching for another really, really good Tannat, and I have not found another one I really enjoyed until I met you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You know, my theory on it is Tannat, I had one lady today, I was at an event earlier today, and she said, well, Tannat must be super easy to grow. Everybody grows it. I go, excuse me.
If it was easy, everybody would be doing it.
My sweet friend. I go, as a grower, it is not easy to grow. It takes sometimes 2-3 years for me to get a trunk on that beautiful girl out there. But once she sets in, I mean, she's good to go.
Uh-huh.
However, I also believe, like a lot of people, it benefits greatly from being challenged.
Right.
And up here, I mean, I have caliche, and then I have limestone, which is just old caliche, let's be honest, right? But she has to work for it.
Yeah.
And when you have to work for it, she settles out all of that kind of angriness. And then, of course, I treat everybody with care out here. Everything's hand done.
Yeah.
And so that's the Tannat you get here.
Yeah.
And I know that it has a different fruit expression than others. And I like to be gentle and delicate in the way I handle her oak.
Right.
Just to be able to kind of embody that fruit forward, but gracefully lift you into that finish.
Right.
That's the way I think fruit wine should be created.
That is exactly the way I feel wine should be created. You should gently caress it, present it, let it form its own self.
That's it. And give it a chance to live. That tannin will go forever.
Oh, yeah.
But, people also say, are we dead? So, the tannins, people say Tannat's the most tannic, and that's why you have it, and it's all this stuff. Having grown, I grow 3 different varieties, And the fact is the Tannat clusters are, as they get mature and get bigger, they get not quite the size of the Tempranillo ones, which are bigger than my face, but there are so many berries that populate a cluster. Well, now where are all the tannic acids in a grape?
Right.
They're on the inside of the skins of the grape,
Yep.
right? So if you have a greater population of grape in the same size cluster
Right.
than the others, seems pretty obvious to me. You're going to have a higher tannin
Oh yeah,
quality.
100%.
I mean,
100%. You can't argue with that.
no.
You're going to have. It's going to be like that.
More skin
Plain
on
as-
more grapes equals
Yes.
higher tannins.
Yeah.
So then you just have to deal with the nuance of that tannin
Right.
and how it positively affects others. I mean, it's globally a blending grape.
Yep. Oh,
for
yeah.
that color,
Yeah.
for that tannin,
Yep.
for that structure,
100%.
for the fact you can make something last longer than
Yep.
however many years.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
And so that's the reason it was originally brought here. Heck, it was my cash cow, like I said. I needed, this is not a hobby. I had to have something. I thought, well, at least I could sell Tannat to
Right.
people when their grapes are funny.
Right.
Right? But instead, she's just, I'm glad you love her by herself.
Oh, I do.
Would you want to try some Mourvedre to begin with? Though?
Oh, yeah.
I was so tonight I thought we just walk through the varietals and then jump over to my Premier Malie.
Yeah, we can
My
do
girl
that.
with a story.
And I tell you what, I'm going to keep this in the show, but I'm going to actually probably introduce the show.
Now I was so funny. I was like, I can't believe he just jumps in like that. I know. That's okay. I was like, look at that. Okay. Maybe he does it later. It's hysterical.
No, it's, sometimes the conversation just happens and,
Right.
and you don't want to lose that
You
conversation.
forgot that I've literally done TV and radio
Yes.
and shit like that.
Oh,
I was like,
yeah.
oh, okay, good.
Well, we're going to go ahead and open the show properly now. So,
Okay.
hey, welcome back to We Know Texas Vino, the show where sip and swirl and celebrate the Lone Star State's finest wines. I'm your host, Will, and today we are headed deep into the Texas Hill Country.
Yes.
And we're meeting one of the most passionate voices of Texas wines. That's Lisa here at Diamond Vineyards. Welcome, Lisa.
Hello. Thanks for coming out here at sunset. Well, we're just about beyond it.
Oh, but it's still beautiful out here.
Thank you.
It's actually
A little bit of a breeze.
Yeah, it's actually really nice. We had a little bit of rain coming in,
Mhm.
unexpected rain, because when I checked the forecast, we both checked the forecast here.
Yes.
And
all the time.
we're like, okay, it's not going to be cold. It's going to be nice. It's not going to be rainy. And then we start heading here. We're like, oh, it's going to be cool and rainy.
And it's November 1st, right? Okay.
Right.
So
So-
tomorrow's going to be 10 degrees warmer and completely clear skies.
Oh, yeah.
So, but that's part of farming.
That's
and,
Texas for you, though.
And it's Texas for you.
Yeah, she
and
says,
it's
hold my
more
beer and
sincere.
watch. Or hold my wine and watch.
That's right. Hold my wine. I'll be right back. Let me go scrim up a little bit.
Oh, my gosh.
Well, I've got to say, viticulture is one of the funniest areas for watching and doing farming
Mhm.
because, we get one crop a year. And so everything you do, I mean, there you are.
Right.
And so that's one of the brilliant reasons globally
Mhm.
that actually vintage matters.
Right.
Because when one looks at a region and they feel passionately for it, then they understand what happened that
Right.
year. Because
Yeah.
each vintage should indeed tell that story.
Yeah. And I tell a lot of people when they drink wine,
Yes.
don't go after the varietal, go after the story.
Right.
Because that year may tell that vintage that you're drinking, it may tell you the story that we had too much rain that year, or
Yeah.
we had not enough rain,
No rain at all. Yeah.
or it had a freeze that year,
Right.
or I like to say this is a joke. A bug flew by and farted on it.
Well, maybe. Or a lot of them.
In your
did.
case, a turkey growing.
A turkey, right? Yeah, my crazy turkey at our nest out there. That was hysterical.
Oh my gosh! Oh man!
I never saw her after they finally the last two hatched, or the two hatched.
Yeah. Really?
Never saw them again.
Huh.
Nope.
Well, that's
So,
interesting. That's fascinating.
She was a freeloader, really. She chose a lovely, elegant estate place to live and
But at least
hung
it's
out for
fenced
free.
in. It was kind of protected a little
Well,
bit.
so I don't know about that because the clutch was initially 11 eggs.
Okay.
11 eggs in this huge nest at the base of one of the Tannat vines.
She had class on just that.
Well, I probably could have. Oh my gosh! But then, as days went on, we kept checking on her, and there were less and less eggs, and none of them broken. So we're like, "Oh dear." Yeah, she ended up, I think, with maybe 2 out of 11.
Okay.
That's a terrible attrition
Yeah,
rate.
that is.
So you're like, "Oh, she might have been protected." I'm like, except for foxes and snakes
Right.
and
Yeah, you never
vineyards
know.
are safe, sort of.
Yeah.
No
You never-
deer was going to go stomp on them. That's for sure.
Which, by the way, I want to say this. If y'all have not been out here to Diamond Vineyards, this is absolutely a gorgeous, gorgeous place.
Oh, thank you.
I came out here and stayed at your little Airbnb out
Yeah,
here.
yeah. In the guest
And
house.
as a hunter, there was so
yeah.
many head of deer out here that, I could probably took a buck knife and walked out there, snuck up on them, and got me a
Yeah,
head.
just
and
whacked him with a slingshot. Yeah, we have a lot of whitetail. There you go, the high fence around the vineyard, right?
Yeah.
And today's the first day of season.
Yeah, and actually, when we were setting up for to do this episode, we actually heard a gunshot.
Yeah.
Now, granted, it could have been several miles away.
Probably not. Probably right over there. Just saying.
We hear ricochet duck.
No one on this property. Our ranch, we're safe tonight. Yeah, tonight.
Well, Lisa, before we really get into this episode,
yes,
I want to tell everybody where they can find the podcast. So you can find us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts at We Know Texas Vino, and of course on YouTube at We Know Texas Vino.
Right.
And then of course, find us on our website at weknowtexasvino.wine. Which, by the way, if you ever try to buy a personalized domain,
hard.
I've done that, and I'll never do it again.
Right.
I'm gonna hold it on that thing for a while. I'm going to say this. I ran into Lisa. Are you okay there? Okay.
I was like, we need to be quiet.
Yes.
So
I ran into Lisa a couple months ago. Has it been a couple months ago?
It's a long month, like maybe 6 months.
Like May.
Yeah.
So I was out at Michael Ross doing a 32 barrel tasting out there, and Ron Martin was scheduled to come out here, and he's like, you should come out here also.
Absolutely.
And so called up Lisa, and she's like, shh, come on out here. Well, okay, first off, I got lost coming out here.
That was funny.
I mean, because I wasn't expecting where to go.
Well, and I think you used Waze.
No, I used Google Maps.
Okay, well.
Yeah, I got lost because I ended up going almost to Lukenbach and then had to turn around and come back.
Which is really only a mile down the road.
Well, yeah.
So it wasn't like you were way off track.
Yeah, for whatever reason, Google Maps sent me in that direction.
Okay.
So I get here, and you come down a dirt road, and you finally get here, and all of a sudden see this amazing green, luscious vineyard.
Yeah.
And out of the middle of nowhere, and you don't expect to see this in this area.
Well, if you're down on the main road and you look up, you can see us railing down the hill. Yeah. And actually coming from Michael Ross, you go by the best view we have.
Really?
Yeah. We'll have to take that a little photo tour different time.
Oh, yeah. We have to definitely do that. So, and again, here, and I meet this very energetic, ADHD. I'm sorry, I'm going to label you that.
Yeah, okay. Energetic, most people would say. Charismatic, passionate, enthusiastic.
She greeted us, and she's like, hey, welcome here. Come have some wine and stuff. And I'm going to tell you, we were, just before we actually introduced the show, we were just talking about the Tanat, which I'm not cutting that first part out.
Okay.
And because it was just a great conversation. And Tanat is starting to become my new favorite thing. And it's now because of Dr. Bob.
Dr. Bob Young at Bending Branch Winery. Dr. Tanat internationally.
Yes. He has brought Tanat into Texas. And he's now made it a big thing here in Texas. And in fact, he just did a Texas White Oak on it.
Yes. His Texas White Oak project is astounding. Actually, I was at Dr. Bob's Tanat talk a week ago.
Really?
He invited me and then Drew Talent, who's a huge producer, well-known to Talent Vineyards, 72 acres of vines, and many different varieties. But he's been working with Dr. Bob with Tanat for 20 years. So what a lovely, there was me and the two kings of Tanat, right?
Right.
So I was very honored to be there, but brought to the point that I'm a grower and then I make my wine out of it.
Right.
And the nuance, the psalm thing too, so the nuance of it. Right. But we tasted Dr. Bob's and mine.
Okay.
And at first I was like, are we doing a comparison? Who do you like better? And he was like, I want to show people all that can happen with it.
Right.
And then, and at the end we did my Melise. So we'll talk about that later, but it was fantastic. Yeah. I was just at Tanat Talk.
Yeah.
There was me.
So it's not become a new trend here in Texas.
It has. And for good reason, because it's bold, it's strong, and it's kind of independent when it's made here. Right. Globally, it's a blender. It's just part of the team. It makes everybody better, which I think Texans are like that too. Yep. We like to make things better. But boy, oh boy, do we like standing on our own too.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And so that's what Tanat is doing.
Oh yeah. 100%.
And it varies where it's grown. Right. So, but Dr. Bob, you can't get a better enthusiast or supporter or motivator.
I haven't got
to not
meet with him. I'm hoping next year I get to sit down with him.
Oh yeah.
So we'll figure that one out. So, Lisa, I've looked at you online and I see what you've done, and we've talked a lot.
Yeah.
You've traveled. We even did a panel interview not too long ago.
Yeah. Living in the vines.
Yeah. But you just didn't wake up one day and you're like, you know what? I'm going to be a psalm. I'm going to own a vineyard. I'm going to make wine. Travel the world.
Right.
So where did this passion come from? What started this? What was your trigger?
So, people have this something that you're good at doing, right? And even when you're like a little kid, you're like, kind of have a knack for that, right? And I've had a knack for just tasting things. And then I guess feeling wildly confident about telling you about it. Or exploring it further. And when I was a little girl, sometimes I was abusive, like certain things. I will never forget black walnuts were just almost the bane of my existence because the level of tannat or tannins in that would sear the side of my tongue all the way up. I mean, to the point of bringing tears to my eyes, which is crazy, right? So either my father kept really old nuts around because he liked old walnuts, or the tannins in it, and I was sensitive. So flash forward many, many years. I went to the University of Texas and worked for the Four Seasons. Okay. And when I was there, I had the opportunity to work along with the psalm. He said, "Look, you have a good palate. You're good with people. Let's see how this goes." And so I was able to learn a lot there, but even more, starting my capability and my experience in translating what is wine, what is a story, to people. Because my absolute favorite is watching someone discover a palate or a wine or a flavor, better yet, a pairing. That's an incredible adventure they have in their mouth. I mean, they could be drinking sweet tea or milk with their meal, but the right wine that changes the whole deal.
That is probably my most favorite thing to do in a tasting room is when someone says, "I don't like this because X, Y, Z." And I said, "Well, here, try this," and give them like a cracker or a piece of cheese, and they eat it or whatever, and they're like, "Oh, wow."
Right.
They get it. It's like the light bulb comes on.
If you can do even just a mental intonation to someone, and I mean, it's just good enough to do a mental tasting on it, it can rock people's world.
Oh, yeah.
I'm crazy about wine pairings. So even on the back of all my labels for each vintage and for each wine, I always change it. Like, well, this one actually is good with this and that. So I've just poured you a tiny taste of my 23 Mourvèdre. So I know you've tasted my 22 vintages, but I don't think you've tasted my 23s. No, I have not. So I just released these guys at Harvest this year. So they've only been out since August to people to drink. And so Mourvèdre is my little beauty queen. You remember she's at the very front of the vineyard. Grows up straight, arms out, pretty girl. And lovely fruit. I mean, she's bright.
I love this woman, guys.
She's great. Well, anyway, I don't feel any reason to tamper with what she's offering. So this is 100% Mourvèdre and 100% neutral oak for about 2 years.
I can't. That smell, though, it's like,
is it?
It's out of this world. And
she backs it up, though. So this is the one that I put
chocolate.
With fish. You need chocolate with that?
No. I want chocolate.
You can, yeah.
I'm not a big chocolate eater. I want chocolate with this.
Okay.
Like it's crazy. Every time I drink it, I was like, I need a piece of chocolate. Hey, do you have Snickers in the truck still?
How funny. I tell people this is a great fish wine. So It's fantastic with like redfish with like a cool medley of multiple spicy peppers on it. Or like grilled salmon when you drizzle honey and lavender, or frankly, this is absolutely stunning with green curry.
That sitting here talking about food, I love to cook.
Yeah,
and I'm
I know that about you.
Better at cooking. And one thing you mentioned that is put it on a piece of cedar plank, salmon, put it on the smoker, let it smoke up a little bit with some lemon on it.
Yes.
A little thyme.
Yes.
Okay, where's the grill at?
No, we'll go get that out. The funny part about cedar when you bring that up, so people think cedar, and usually when they're serving you cedar planks, it's real cedar.
Right.
Here in the Hill Country, we call a certain tree cedar.
Right.
That's not cedar.
Nope.
It's ash juniper, and it is crazy invasive, right? So where we are now, this whole section of the property was so choked with cedar that we could not stand erect at no point. So when I bought this section of property, people were like, "Why'd you build a vineyard here?" I was like, well, here's a fun fact. Couldn't stand erect. So walking up this slope, this beautiful hill, all I could do was look down. And if all you can do is look down, all you can do is look at the rock ledges and the soil, or lack thereof, and keep going up. And so that's what I did. And once we finally got to the top, I thought, man, this is a vineyard. In Italy, they say you want the best vineyard possible. You want your grapes to be challenged a little bit, right? Kind of like people, better, you need a little challenge, makes better character. So there you look for the best slope, right? But then with the absolute worst soil. And that's where you plant your vines for your children.
You know, I've never actually thought about that, but that's actually a true statement there.
True statement.
100% true statement, because you want them to stress out.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. You don't want them to overstress, but you don't want them not to stress.
And
you
here,
perfect.
Good balance.
Yeah.
So here's my theory on it with caliche. Caliche is clay.
Right.
Well, what does clay do? Clay retains water, right? So it always has a little bit of a goopy, little bit of water somewhere near it. And then it has limestone. And limestone is just old caliche, let's be honest. And so anybody can just whack on it and go through it. Well, vines with very strong roots can just tingle all the way through there, break through, challenge a little bit, and get right back to the moisture in the caliche below. So whereas I don't get that much rain up here on my hill, I can watch it go. It goes everybody up and down 290. It zooms out to Mason, all the way out to Blanco. I just watch it go by. But when it does come up here, I can hold on to it for a bit. Right. And I believe that is part of the character of this. Now, we were talking about cedar and the ash juniper. Well, we did clear it all. But clay is also sticky, and I think it retained still retains a little bit of that oiliness from the root structure of those cedars still down in there. And so I think as we go through and we taste the lineup, you'll still experience just a little bit of that. And then we go to Erwa, right? Have you heard about Erwa?
Oh, no.
Not terroir, Erwa, which right off the bat sounds stupid. Right?
You know, I mean, I thought you were going to say Airwolf, but I'm like...
No, Erwa, terroir,
okay,
Erwa.
Gotcha.
So Erwa is like what they're trying to say is like what it is. It's the breeze and the wind that comes through.
Okay.
And how that also can be infectful for the vines. And actually, it was Dr. Bob that brought this up to me one day. And we were chatting about it, and he goes, yeah, but at least none of the ranches or the properties around your vineyard are in any way improved. So they're still chock full of cedar. And when the wind comes up and down the vines,
it blows the cedar.
It blows the same thing right back through. So I don't look at it as a negative. In fact, everybody who tastes my wine thinks, oh my God, there's that really unique characteristic.
You know, so now what you just done to me is
oh, no, but I put it in your mind.
You literally, so I like doing research on this.
Yes.
I love to learn about this stuff. And now as you say this, now it makes me want to go and do a little bit more research on this.
I love that.
Because I like we talked about before the show here, I've found my fascination in wine. And we've talked about, the Texas Wine Ambassador certification, the Nestled certification stuff. And I found a passion in this. This is why I started doing this and then started making wine and stuff. This wine is not just something you just sit down and you just drink.
No.
You're not meant to drink. Oh, you can, but it's not meant to drink alone. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that do it.
There's that.
But it's a friendship. It is a camaraderie. It's bonding. It is like, I mean, my mom and my stepdad just got their WSET1.
I'm so proud of them. And that's a big deal. Like at their age, I mean, I don't know how old they are, but if they're
like
your
21,
parents,
22.
They're Benjamin Button, right? I have a friend who when he turned 50, he's like, and now I'm going backwards. I figure maybe I'll die at 18. I was like, all right.
But I mean, they got it, and now they understand it more, and that's what I wanted for them.
Yes.
And now they're fixing to start their journey for WSET2 now. I'm really proud of them.
Keeps your brain working.
And they enjoy it. And now, when we sit down and have some wine, you can actually see their thoughts now.
There's a conversation now.
We had the conversation. They would tell me their thoughts on it. Yes. There's no wrong answers when it comes to drinking wine.
No, there isn't.
And that's I'm not going to bash California, but I'm going to kind of bash it because California makes it like you have to taste this, and this. Mm. I'm sorry. I've read a lot of the tasting notes, a lot of their bottles, and they all say this. Right.
There's some standard words they use for certain grape varieties, and then that's the descriptor for what that is when it becomes a varietal. Yep. And I agree that's having taught wine and all that shit for so long. It's I think that it's important to realize you have your own voice.
Yeah.
That's the other thing with tasting notes. I tell people globally.
Oh, don't even get me on the tasting notes.
Well, but think about it. Like your palate is just as valid as mine.
Yes.
But your palate is only what you've experienced.
Yes.
And so if you have never tasted lychee nuts, And it's wildly unlikely you're going to find it, even in a Gewürztraminer, which is number one leach. That's the only thing to say. So I tell people, I used to do tastings, in Manhattan, and then I would do tastings in Kansas City, and the people in Manhattan never once found barnyard in literally anything, because they were like, unless
they've never been around one.
Right, unless they hung out in the zoo in the middle of Central Park, they were not going to have that happen with them. But they would find gasoline. They could find exhaust. They could find tar. They could find other things. I mean, not all negative things. I mean, these actually are things that can exist as descriptors. And the people over in Kansas City would rarely find some of those things because it wasn't as pervasive. Right. So I think globally, because I've lived globally, I've taught wine, done wine globally, is your verbiage comes from what your experience is. And I think really the key in wine tasting is having the confidence and the vocabulary to be able to say whatever your opinion is. Yep. And it doesn't mean I'm better. I'm nothing new. I just maybe have said more things.
Well, they said that there are 3 different palates out there. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, the more advanced palate has more taste buds per area on the tongue compared to someone whose palate is not very advanced.
Okay, so you're talking anatomically, as opposed to
because at the same time, I think your palate can also change. Your taste.
I know your palate changes,
and you can mature that and gain more of that.
Absolutely, but friend, that's why you drink more wine. You drink more wine. You taste more things.
Yes,
not just wine. Taste everything. Yes. I know friends. I've sucked stones. You taste stones. You taste dirt. You do things because you want to taste it.
Right.
But it doesn't mean, that was funny.
Yeah.
It's okay. Every now and then the solar thing goes, like it blinks at night. But I agree with that. And I love the way that you're getting them to be more empowered to taste.
And it's, someone asked me the other day, they go, how does somebody know what like asphalt tastes like? Mm-hmm. We joke around like, hey, do they get out there and actually lick it? Well,
some people.
But I actually had this epiphany.
Okay.
It was a hot day last year in Grapevine, and it comes as micro rainburst. And when you get that rainburst that hits the asphalt and the steam comes off, you smell it. And then I tell them, I go even a little bit further. I said, wine is the only cheap time travel.
Oh, that's a great idea. Nice.
Because it takes you back to a different time and place in your life. Because then after I smelled that asphalt, it took me back to when I was a kid, when I was playing baseball in the dirt field, and it would come that rainfall, and you smell that dirt coming up in the air, and you smell that wet dirt, and you're like, huh.
Well, the olfactory section of your brain is the closest to your memory section of your brain, like actually physiologically.
Right.
So there you go, too. Yeah. The synapses don't have far to jump, but it also makes it assimilative.
Yeah.
And so the wine can go in time travel, not only for your experiences in your life, but also time travel into what was this year. Mm-hmm. And ideally, this bottle will tell you a little bit of the story of 2023 here on Diamond Vineyards.
Yeah.
Do you want to try the next one? Try some Tempranillo? Yeah.
Well,
look, I can try to make him drink. It's not hard.
Well, all right. So let's back up because we got off the
time
travel. So you talked about you worked at the Four Seasons.
I did.
And it got you into to drinking wine. Mm-hmm. Talked about how your palate was advanced. So
from there, I graduated early from Texas. And I started moving around the world, and I went first to the Broadmoor in Colorado Springs, where I did PR and some psalm stuff, and then moved. And I began working in the wine industry, and then became a psalm. And I've come up through the court, and I've had the opportunity to do importer, exporter, distributor, retailer, obviously restaurants. That goes without saying.
Right.
Taught in universities, been on TV, been in radio, even with this crazy voice. Can you imagine?
No.
They always said it was good for something, usually jazz radio, and I don't know. But pretty good for wine, apparently. And so I've had that lovely opportunity, and then still while being a psalm, so pulling it all together with the wine and the food and the culture. And so the only thing I hadn't done was, I guess, become a farmer, which most people were surprised when I said I was going to do that, and then start making the wine. So this is my Tempranillo. Okay, obviously Spanish grape variety.
Well, first of all, I like how you roll your R's on it.
I do speak several languages.
I do the same thing. I say Tempranillo. And you got to explain it to them like that.
Right, you do.
Can't.
Okay, Spanish grape variety.
Yes.
Temprano means early in Spanish. Tempranillo, the little diminutive version. So it should mean little early one. Mm. Part of that's true. She's often the first one to bud, first one to bloom, first one to harvest. Often I said, I tell you, this girl is more temperamental than she is early, and she's not little.
Oh, yeah.
One cluster of this grape is the size of my face on average.
Okay.
Her leaves are bigger than my hands.
Right.
So she's no little girl out there.
Right.
Also, she's about as wild as my crazy hair. She starts to grow up, and all those tendrils go like all the way around each cluster. She'll grab onto the cordon all the way up through all of the rest of the trellising. She'll start to the right and then change her mind, go over, grab her sister to the left, tie onto her. And so I spend most of the season attempting to rail in and control this vine, which would be like someone trying to rail in and control me. Sort of successful. But what I love to say is at the very end, once I bring that fruit in, she becomes an angel once we put her in this bottle.
Yeah, and I will have to say, I've drank a lot of Texas Tempranillo, and I tell people that you try one wine from one place, don't get hooked on that. Try it somewhere else because you're going to taste something different. And it never fails. Every time I do a Tempranillo, I really want to do a side-by-side from High Plains, Hill Country, and North Texas and East Texas.
State fruit, non-state fruit, yeah.
And that way you could taste the different parts of Texas.
Terroir is amazing, and Tempranillo does well in many places in the state.
Yes.
As long as someone has the patience and control.
Yes.
Like, allow that. This, I believe, it represents differently. Again, I create my wines. I want you to appreciate that fruit that I spent so much time building for you, but then not suffocate it and still give it its liberty to extend and live.
Right.
And so this one is 22 months or so in neutral oak, and then I finished off with a bit of French. Okay. You can feel that kiss at the end.
Okay. I like it. I mean, I really do like this. And, sometimes you get a Tempranillo that's got a little bit of that tannic taste, that little tart tannin. I'll be honest with you, my Tempranillo has a tart finish on the end of it. Kind of messed up on that.
Well, I mean, not really.
Give it another 6 months.
Give her some time. So give her 6 months.
But I mean, yours is very pleasant to the palate.
Thank you.
And a lot of people expect a lot of the peppery, bell pepper.
So bell peppery, or strong with sugar.
Yes.
There's so many people out there that make them. And every style, winemaking is on style. So when we switch from the farmer hat to the winemaking hat, I prefer to make them all to be old world style, which means food friendly, palate friendly, community friendly. Mm-hmm. I want you to savor this thing start to finish. Right. And it shouldn't be that screaming entity over there that's so high in alcohol, so high in sugar, so high in oak or something. It should blend and be part of you and part of what you want it to be. And so that's what this is here.
This is why I like conversating with you. You get it.
Yes, I get it. I've done it before.
Because
all the wine things.
I mean, I'm still very young in my wine journey. I'm still very young. I mean, I'm going on year 6 of my wine journey.
Gosh, that's great. You've done so far. I'm proud of you.
I'm an engineer, so my engineer brain, I'm always like.
Engineer brains are very, very good. My youngest son, Ransom, was here for 4 years with me. He's an mechanical aerospace engineer, and he's my vineyard manager. Fantastic person to have as a vineyard manager for a couple of reasons. Number one, my son, right? So it's still the family operation. He's also has a full foot and 100 pounds on me. Very helpful out there. And obviously younger, he's a dude, so, can get things done that way physically. But his mind thinks as an engineering way. So when we were approaching various other issues, I think very strategically, but divvy it down to the tactical. He starts kind of more itemizing, so kind of met in the middle. And a really great team out here in the vine. So I would say, don't go being like, I'm an engineer. I just kind of think technically. The benefit to that to me is you categorize well. So then even in your tasting notes, you can be like, wait, I've sensed that before. And I liked it or I didn't, or, ooh, they did something different here.
That's funny you actually mentioned that.
Right?
So I was out here at Avastris.
Yes. Dear friends.
A couple months ago. And there, was it Arion? So it's Morved, Carillon, Petit Syrah.
Oh, don't ask me to tell you their whole blend. Gosh, I can barely keep up. I'm kidding.
So I smelt it. And I was like, oh, I smelt this before. What was it? And I asked him what
the Petit Syrah? Component?
So when they told me what the varietals were in it, I had to actually pull up a winery in North Texas. Because I remember hearing those same varietals.
Yes.
And the only difference between Lonesome Vine's varietal and their varietal was the Syrah. They used Petit Syrah and Lonesome Vine used Syrah.
Syrah.
And that was like the only varietal difference. But you smell it and you're like, oh.
Oh my God, did you put the two of them together one day?
Yeah, I put it together like that.
Lovely.
Quickly.
Good.
Yeah.
That's the engineer brain. That is, take credit where credit is due, my friend. Take credit where credit is due. So I think the difference, like in this Tempranillo versus many of my other lovely colleagues, is if you're down and you're in a different, it's the soil again, or lack thereof.
Yeah.
And the hand care up here. You know, she's well loved, even if I've barely put up with her this year. Oh my gosh. Because she does temper tantrums. So if it's too hot, she's like, too cold, no, too wet, too dry. Oh. So what she does is she just takes all of her clothes off, which meaning she loses all of the leaves in the middle of her cordon. And then what do?
You just sit there and look at it.
All the fruit's completely exposed this year, 2025, right? July 4th. Here, even way up here on my hill where I barely get the rain everybody else gets, we got 13 inches. It's a lot of rain. And it's a lot of rain when you have caliche limestone. Uh-huh. We had standing water for a month.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's either standing or rolling down.
Like, none of it. None of it. She's not dead. She just got mad. And so we came along and we handled it. But if you look at her out here right now, remember before it got dark, I mean, here's the bright green. It looks like March in Tempranillo. She's like, oh, I was just kidding. I'm good to go now. Let's go down there. She's putting out clusters and in bloom and some of them. I'm like,
seriously, right now?
Get over it. Yeah. We will do that like tomorrow when you come back for coffee. We'll go up and down and be like, see what I mean? She's a hot mess. But
oh my God.
Anyway, you got to love her because this is what you get out of her. So patience is a virtue, my friend.
Oh yeah, it is.
Especially in apparently vineyard farming.
Yeah, exactly. I know. You got to. So listen, I want to ask some questions about your psalm world.
Oh, my psalm world, yes.
And the reason I ask this is because I've had a lot of people ask about the psalm world.
Mm-hmm. It's a different one.
It's a different one.
Yes.
In fact, actually, I remember watching a video of a guy who, I guess it was some sort of competition.
Oh, there's a lot of psalm competitions,
And they gave him a little bit of wine. He puts it in his mouth. He swirled it around for a little bit, spit it out. Mm-hmm. And he literally said the year, the varietal, what was going on that year. Yep. And where it came from, and a whole bunch of stuff. And I'm sitting there looking at it and like, I know my brain holds a lot of stuff, but sometimes there's sometimes I just do a memory dump and I dump all that.
Right.
But the question I get a lot is how hard are the tests? Like, going from basic to the advanced.
That's a very good question. And we were talking earlier about the difference between WSET and then the court. And it's the Court of Master Sommelier. Right. Sorry, I shouldn't have started it up. But the difference is what's your focus, right? So if your interest is in education and wine knowledge, but not just the actual product in the bottle, but all that went into it, the terroir, how does enology and all the different things you can do to make wine, how does it affect? And you want to transmit that to people and you want to knowledge that, then that's WSET. Okay. They focus on wine. And it's an amazing body of knowledge. And the pinnacle of WSET is Master of Wine, which is such a tremendous body of knowledge. And they're really cool at educating and teaching people. Different styles, but there you go. In the court is hospitality. Okay. So you're not just doing wine. And people sometimes think that, oh, you're a somm, so all you do is wine. Somms do distillates, beer, wine. But now all the funny waters, the other things like that. And cigars. And all of that is part of the test. So they don't really show on TV. They don't show you doing that level of the test. You have to know all the different roll types and whatnot for the cigars. But it's because it's the hospitality element, right? It's what goes into running these huge hospitality industries, big and small, restaurants and beyond. You go to Vegas, a master somm is running, the entire food and beverage or that beverage department of a lot of those big casinos and chains. So thinking about it that way, you look at wine as a component of a bigger portfolio, but then you also start to think about nuances of how it all works in the business and in sales. Okay. So I think, and I love both of them, to be clear. Mm-hmm. Obviously, I wouldn't have kept going in the court if I didn't. I don't. That'd be weird, right? Very, very misdirected. But what I did get to do was have all these different career or choices and jobs. Right. We moved a lot. To be clear, it's not that I got fired. We kept moving. Right. 18 months, 2 years in one spot, and boom, off I go to another totally different location. But it gave me the opportunity to explore working in wine in elements of discovery, tasting, conversation, the business, the commercial element, like bring on the money, because wine can bring money. And
wine brings money.
I'm not going to lie. I grow the stuff and I make it, but it really isn't a hobby. Ideally, I find people who love it and want to enjoy it and buy a couple bottles. So, but it's also bringing it together.
Right.
So I think that's the big interest. And sometimes I have a lot of people ask me, you asked me earlier, like, what do I think, which side? And I think it goes to, what do you want to do? They both have a lot of merit, and they both have big steps to go up. Now, back to, can you close your eyes, smell, taste, and then name it off and identify? Heck yeah. And that is a big part of both of them. The further you go up in WSET and the further you go up and especially in the court. But they have competitions like that. And a blind tasting is part of even the very first test in the court.
Okay. And like I said, back to what I was saying about the gentleman, that he was literally swished it around his mouth, spit it out, and all of a sudden he starts spitting all this off, and I'm like, I literally lean over like this, and I'm like, I'm in complete and utter awe, because he
didn't even swallow it.
Yeah, he didn't even swallow it. He sat there and spit everything out, and he goes, well, it is a blah, 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 and it was this vintage of this, and this was done within this barrel, and then this was done on this vineyard, and it was this year that the grapes came out, and that year they had too much rain in that year. Yes. And he kept going off, and I'm like, I speak in ones and zeros.
Yeah, okay. Well, they do, you begin to really study, though, what's wonderful about wine and your global perspective on it is you have to have a global perspective on what's the weather, what's happening in these regions, because it does impact. Yeah. And it goes back to the 100%. Storytelling that's here right anyway. Yeah. I guess the other funny part about those, like the spitting and all that, I've always hated that part. I mean, mine is like one swallow, right? But they're all like, oh, you'll get so drunk by the time you end it. Well, I think it's probably good that I have the heritage that I have, because I come from stock that's apparently not that big of a problem.
Well, I've done some wine judging, and there's been a couple that I've actually drank, but
most
anytime you spit, you still got a little bit of taste in your mouth.
It still absorbs into your tongue.
Yeah, and you still get that little finish, but it's so I'll have to admit, I really enjoy this wine world. I enjoy talking to people like you.
Thank you.
That we have fun and we talk about this and we bond over this.
Yeah,
and this is stuff that was created back when Jesus said, we're going to have a party here. We're going to turn this water into wine.
Yeah, way before that even. You know, because it brings people together and it incites conversation. Yeah. And it's not necessary. It's not the alcohol part. People say that. And I'm like, I think the part is it gives people a voice. Yeah. And it's a good equalizer. Yeah. If I truly believe your palate and anything you have to say about this is equal to mine, there's a lot of other conversations people have out there and other topics, but that's not the same.
Right.
And so I love the fact that also then it can go to food, or it can go to dreams, or it can go to travel. And that's good. Yeah. That's good.
So I read an article.
Yeah.
I know we've completely went off over here on a couple of 7, 8 different rabbit trails, but it's just okay because but that's what this show's all about.
It is.
So I actually read an article that they found a fermentation vessel inside of a mountain in China.
Oh, one of those amorphae, but they're the Chinese versions.
The hole was about this big around, and I'm trying to figure out who was small enough to get in that hole there to dig.
Have you seen these people? They're not big now. They weren't bigger then. People are very tiny back in the old days.
But the hole was this big around.
That's bigger. And also, there's sediment packs on itself. And come on.
But think about making wine inside of a mountain.
Yes.
In the mountain itself. You didn't have an actual clay pot or anything like that. You did it in the mountain.
Yep.
And
sucked it out.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I'm sitting there, it's just, I sat there and had to think about that. Literally just had to think about that for just a little bit, because here we are. We use concrete. We use clay. Yep. We use stainless steel. Yep. We use flex tanks now that breathe a little bit more.
Right.
We use synthetic corks now. Things that technology has advanced in different stuff.
Yes.
And here we are. I'm looking at this mountain that they found, this vessel that they made wine in by simply just digging a hole in the side of a mountain.
Some of it is absolutely wonderful and fascinating, though, isn't it? It is. And especially when you think way, way, way back, wine was so much healthier to drink than water.
Well,
Especially once people started getting like cities and populations, and then there's like all of the sanitary situations. Like you can get really damn sick if you drink the water. But wine, you're okay.
Yeah.
And it wasn't always, people have this impression of the history of wine, like, oh, oak barreling and all that. That's new. Heck no.
Nope.
They were doing that in the Roman times when they went up and they had taken over France, right? And so you have the French winemakers or the French, people who are making wine, French winemakers, right? They were using oak barrels to age their wines and then convert it. So we were having barrel aging in the Roman times, and they would take that back down to Rome and they'd be like, here we go.
Yep.
This is from the northern colonies.
Yep.
Sort of.
Okay, well, let's see if we can circle this back around.
You're in charge.
So, all right, so you've done all this traveling. Now you've got you're an advanced somm now.
Yeah.
Which congratulations on that. I know that's a lot of hard work. What made you find this place? What brought you to this location right here?
Okay.
Because I mean, this is not just a right off the road of 290 location. This is
barely off the road.
This is like off the main road, and then down a dirt road, then down a rock road, and then up a mountain.
Sound really farther away. It's not over hill and dale. It is about 2 miles off 290. So I'm closer to Lukenbad. And I'm just after Longhorn, so it's about a mile after Longhorn. But you do have to come up to the estate. Yes. And I do my visitations by appointment and by private event. But let's be clear, I'm here a lot, most of the time. And so I just leave the phone number available, and you can call me, and we'll see how I'm doing. I know, I'm also a wiggler, so to everybody out there, if you see me screw around with this thing, there we go. At least my earrings aren't jingling in it this time. That was last time. So funny. I'm so good. Okay, so far so good. So we are going, you do come up here, and it is a private estate. And the fact is, after going to University of Texas, and the Hill Country is so beautiful. And so I just decided, we absolutely wanted to have a ranch out here. And so every time we moved, my husband was in the Air Force, and so we moved 18 times between the time I was 23 and 49. So that's a lot. And internationally and not in the United States, but anytime we were kind of coming through here, we would just get a realtor and grab them and go look at properties. And I fell in love with this one. But the first part of the property was the top 50 acres. And it does it. It's stunning views. I can see 360 from where my house actually is. And I loved it. And then we were able to expand this additional 50 acres. It was so choked with cedar and whatnot. And then we improved that. And that was in 2013 that we started the second half with the vineyard. So we are now, I bought it in 2013. We started clearing and whatnot. In 14, probably my kid's least favorite Christmas vacation. I got to tell you, God bless them. We brought them back for 2.5 weeks from DC. We were like, we're going to the ranch. And we rented a bulldozer. We really enticed them with the bulldozer situation.
I mean,
high schoolers were like, they're going to love this part. So we rented a bulldozer, a skid steer, and we had a chainsaw, and 4 of us. And we cleared 34 acres of cedar, ash juniper, in 2.5 weeks.
Wow.
And that is the beginning of Diamond Vineyards.
Wow.
So everything that you've seen down here in the commercial or the corporate part is what we did.
Well, this is...
And we transformed this land.
This, like I said at the very beginning, this is a very beautiful property. I mean, because, when you go into places like, I can name a couple other places like Los Pinos in East Texas.
Yep, very beautiful.
You're driving through this neighborhood, and all of a sudden, you're like, oh, crap, I need to roll my windows up on this one right here. And then all of a sudden, boom, there's a vineyard. And you're like, where did this come from?
Yes.
It's the same thing here. You're driving up the dirt road, and all of a sudden, boom, there's a vineyard there, and it's just absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you.
You can't deny it. I mean,
no, it's lovely. And my rows are 1,000 feet long. And from here, when the sun was up, you saw 30 miles. So
we sit here at the top while we're setting up, and you can see it almost as far as the eye can see out there.
Yeah.
And it's gorgeous. And granted, it was cloudy.
Kind of temperamental.
Outside, but it was nice. It was really nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, I wish people could see it more.
They can. They just have to
come
on out. Make an appointment. Give me a call.
So I know you got your Tempranillo, you got Tannat out here.
I'll give you the Tannat. We have a tiny sip of the Tannat. we're gonna do a dash for him. So Tannat, it's our blending grape, right, from Bordeaux. A lot of people don't realize that it's a blending grape globally, and we already chatted a little bit about it.
Right.
But this one is neutral oak aged for a little over 20 months, and then at the very, very end, I just kind of kissed it with Hungarian and American oak. So we play in the oak, right? And that's a whole other game, but that runs into my palate. And what I love to do is neutral it for a while and then see the nuance. And we do stave testing. And with this particular one, I had him do Hungarian and then American, and we did American French. We didn't do the Texas yet. And then, the Hungarian was so overpowering for that bright fruit that she's there. So people don't necessarily think of Tannat as having this lovely fruit element, but she does. Mm-hmm. There's it's like a black cranberry, black raspberry, which exists, and it's not blackberries, by the way. They're different.
And I had a raspberry taste on it.
Yeah.
And I've never had a black raspberry, so I can't see what a black raspberry tastes like, but I know what a raspberry tastes like.
But if you imagine it a little more intense, then there you go, black raspberry. Okay. And I want that to always be present in my wines. I want you to feel the full structure. If I've taken this much time to grow the grape, for heaven's sakes, I want you to taste it. But then at the end, I want that oak to lift up the fruit and then gracefully guide you into the finish. And that's important. Yeah. That you savor the whole thing. Yeah. And still give it, it's Tannat, for heaven's sakes. This thing should last 10 years. Yeah. And I think it will. Anyway, so the 23, there we go. And I tried it with just Hungarian. I was like, too much. It smashed down the fruit. Ooh. And I tried the American. And it was like, not enough. And it was then the safe test. And I dumped the two samples together. And I was like, oh. And so
that's how things get started.
That's how it goes. And you just have to think about, I'm always thinking when we're creating my wines is what honors this and what honors this house.
Well,
and what honors my palate, I guess. But I know other people taste other things.
Like what you just said right there, because a lot of people will say, what will make this great? Mm-hmm. And they go for what's good on my palate. They don't think about what's good on other people's palates.
Right. Or they think only about other people's palates.
Yes.
And they maybe not take,
yes.
Everybody likes buttery Chardonnays, and so malolactic the frick out of it. And did they quash the fruit?
Do we have to get on that conversation?
We don't have to talk about malic. That was me.
I'm gonna get on that Chardonnay kick here, okay? Okay. I personally do not like a buttery or oaky Chardonnay.
So you love Chablis.
I want to taste the Chardonnay. I want to taste the grape. I want to taste the personality of the grape.
However, it is one of the most completely convertible and malleable grapes you can get in its taste profile. And it all comes down to little tiny nuances that any winemaker can do. Yep. But purity with it is cool.
So you've gone here and had a Degavinos Chardonnay.
That's right.
Have you had Arcays in St. Joe?
Oh, I have not.
You need to go out there and try that one. Next time you come up.
I'm coming. Who is it?
Arcay.
Okay. Here I come.
Grayson. Okay, so first off, I love Arcay.
Okay.
Amy is only about this tall.
Oh my gosh. God bless her. Hope she has a set.
And so they had their trellises are taller than I am. And
that's the thing.
When I was working in their vineyard, she says, "Well, I need to go ahead and take care of this row over
here." That's why it was so great when Ransom was here. 6'5" versus 5'5". More than once, you'd look over the same row and be like, "Are you in a hole over there?" Come on. But
yes, next time you come to Dallas Fort Worth, let me know. I'll go out to Arcay with you.
I would love that. Okay, I promise to call you next time.
Yes, and God, I love this Chardonnay. Literally, I'm like, thank God someone knows that buttery and oaky Chardonnay is a thing out there.
It is. And also, so is representing your own self and where you are. Yeah. So, Chablis is amazing. Yeah. It's stony, edgy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
right. So I'll get off my soapbox there.
You got away? Yeah, soapbox. They'll have one.
I had to say, I really do enjoy your wines a lot. And,
it'd be terrible if we were here doing this and he hated them, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
But, so everything we've drank so far, a lot of times you taste a lot of heavy tannic finish. Yours is not very heavy tannic. And that's why I think I
Even
love it so
tonight.
much. Yeah, your tonight. Every tonight I drink, except for one other one we already talked about.
Yep.
Is with always a heavy tannic finish. Sorry,
Right.
I'll spit the words out here in a second.
Right.
But it's very pleasant to the palate. It's very.
Thank you.
What's the word I'm looking for?
Quaffable.
Yes. I don't even know what that word is, but we'll go with that
Give
one.
me the Y word. And it starts with a Q. You have to feel enthusiasm about using that one. Quaffable wine.
Yes, we'll
Oh
go with
my
that word.
gosh.
I have no clue what that. I am going to have to
Drinkable.
Google. I'm going to have to Google that word now to figure out what it is.
3 things he's going to research after talking to me. It's fun. I aim for 5.
Well, what's crazy is when I had to go back and re-edit this, I'm going to sit there like, oh, I totally forgot about that. Now I got to and then I'm going to text you like, damn you. Sorry.
It's fun to say. Quaffable, just easily drinkable and talking about it. And,
Oh, yeah, 100%.
no, they are, and yet they have ageability.
Yeah,
They have ageability because there is an obstruction there.
yeah.
And I did not overly oak them. I want that fruit to be there
Mhm.
because that's the demise of a wine is when you no longer have and experience that fruit.
Right.
And I think so many right now are so overly oaked. Like you already started, like where did it go? The fruit. And again, I guess call it a prideful mother, but I mean, I grew them. So I think you should taste them.
Yeah.
They're worth it.
100%.
Okay, I want to show you. You've had I say Malay, but apparently the word is really Malay. My father is Russian. I guess he missaid the word my whole life. But you know, that whole fisticuff fight,
Yes.
right? So my very first
Can you do that again?
fisticuff fight. I know.
just-
All right. Fun fact, I used to box. So my friends in
Man.
DC, if they see this, they're going to be like, what did you just do? Sorry, guys. Fisticuff fight, right? But honestly, as a viticulturist or growing a vineyard person, every harvest is like a melee or a melee. In that, you are battling raccoons, you're battling the rain, you're battling the sugar level, you're battling, do you have anybody to come help you pick all these things? So there's that. And it started because in 2021 was our very first harvest. And things were going along just swimmingly, honestly. And then all of a sudden, the raccoons out here discovered my Tempranillo.
Right.
Mostly, that's really their favorite because they have sweet teeth, right? And they have glommy little fingers. So they climb right up that high fence, down, act like SEAL Team 6, and run in on there. And they stand on the wire that holds the irrigation line. Stood there, put their nasty little hands up on the cordon, and then just eat and eat and eat and eat the vines, just like Bacchus. We have video of them, and you're like, oh, what row was that? You know, it didn't matter because they were taking 200 vines worth of fruit a night. Now, friend, I'm telling you, it's my first harvest, and I was not going to have any wine to make.
Oh.
So, here's a really good thing. I have very, very amazing friends.
Uh-huh.
And I just got on the phone and I called them, a lot of them. And 30 people showed up on Saturday morning. And I handed them all a pair of pruners and a 5-gallon bucket. And I said, go out there and anything that looks like a grape, and it comes off those vines, kind of round, on the big vines, cut it, put it, like, it didn't matter what type, no variety, whatever. Honestly, obviously nowadays I've leaned
Right.
down my quality standards, and we had to sort a lot, but boy, oh boy, just all went in. So a total field blend. Something that a lot of winemakers aren't thrilled about doing because you can't control the sugars, you can't control the acids. You don't, right? Just take it and make something of it.
Yep.
Which is what we did. That wine sat in neutral oak for a little over a year. In 2022, I did variety harvest. So Mourvedre, Tempranillo, then tonight. Not in that order, but whatever. But I was greedy, I guess, or enthusiastic, choose your word. And I left the second level fruit on. Now, in the world, often those are called Christmas grapes. Why? Because they harvest in October or November, like right now. And so 6 to 8 weeks later, Christmas, right? Here, we harvest in July, August.
Right.
6 to 8 weeks later, September. My birthday's in September. I call them birthday presents.
Okay.
So we went out, and again, I just ployed people here with lunch. I do make a smashing lunch, just so you know.
Okay.
Apparently, now I'm down here. Did we screw it up? Sorry, I told you. I worried. I warned you. I wiggled.
No, you're good.
Okay.
At least your earrings are not dangling in the microphone.
Don't have my own percussion going. I went through and I made lunch and we did another field blend harvest because I had some in each of the varieties. And I took a second harvest and we smashed it down. Oh my gosh, the most incredible phenolics. Every time we punched it down, it was the most perfumed, stunning wine coming out of that thing.
I love that smell.
So I took 5 barrels of 21 and I topped it with my 1 barrel of 22. All field blend, all estate fruit. So it's non-vintage. Because to be a vintage wine, you have to have 95% of the grapes come from that 1 year. So obviously. But this is my melee. I got a funny thing to show you. You see the way you spell that word?
Yes.
If you said that same word, you say Melly. That's the tiniest form of faceted diamond. If you say that same word, M-E-L-E-E, in French, it's Malay. Oh, yeah.
You're good. I got you.
Hang on. If you say that same word in French, it's Malay, which means mix. So I have a little triple entente of my 3 grapes rendered from the vineyard. This is my first wine I created, and I hope you love it. I aged it in neutral for I think probably a total of 2 years. And then we capped it off a little bit of French just to send her home. 12.5% alcohol. She should remind you she's great with pizza. Enchiladas, smash it out of the park. Stunning with a charcuterie.
I wish I would stop blowing just for 5 minutes.
So you can get all of it in there. I know.
Because, I mean,
I love this one so much because it represents all that vineyard is, like how we started and how the girls can work together. And I have made it every vintage since. I've created it 2 different ways. In 22, we created varietal wine. Then I took the varietal wine and I blended it and made a different bottle blend. And in 23, prior to even harvesting, walking up and down through the vineyard, I tasted each grape and I designated the percentages, and then that one blended and aged together in neutral.
Okay. Okay. I don't even know. I don't even know where to go with this. Holy crap. Okay, so like the first thing that came to my mind. This is crazy that I'm gonna say this. As a kid, I had to live with my grandmother for a little while, do some family stuff, and as a kid, there was a place in a little town, Breckenridge, Texas, that I grew up in. Yeah. A little hilltop, and it was called Hilltop.
Because it was good to go with obvious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the lady who owned the place her name was Rose, and she made these amazing candy caramel apples.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yep.
And
I see where you're going here.
The minute I drank that, I immediately thought of that. That was the very first thing I thought about.
There we go with that olfactory going right next to the memory brain. Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to go into detail on this, okay?
I remember
being on my BMX bicycle, riding over there with a change in my pocket. I probably had like $1 worth of change in my pocket. Going there and getting the caramel apple, getting it from her and having a conversation and eating the caramel apple, riding my bicycle down the street.
So, okay, you're getting the earthiness right down the street. You're getting the apple or kind of just a bright fruit, and then a little bit of that sugar. Sounds like you're appreciating it.
I hate it so much. I'm going to go and sacrifice myself for the greater good.
Yeah, the Premier Malay or Malay, I guess as people say.
So
one of my dearest friends says, you've got to stop saying Malay, but my father's Russian and he just said it wrong my entire life, I guess. And so here I go. I often say this is my house party.
So I'm going to say this.
Yes.
I like carne guisada. That's one of my favorite things to cook now.
Okay.
It takes like 4 hours for me to make.
Carne asada, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but this would be great with carne asada.
I actually like to put like a cup instead of 2 cups of tomato sauce.
Yeah.
I'll put a cup of tomato sauce and a cup of tempranillo into it.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
I may substitute that for this now.
I think you could. Because the bright acidity in this.
Yes.
Because it's still young.
Yes.
And I mean, I've had people, even the year I was making this, go like, we're going to make that wine. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to make that wine.
So
And when we
good.
crushed it, initially Julie even said, "That's definitely give you rosé. It's only rosé." And the color was almost what you see right there.
Yeah.
The only reason it's influenced is because of the 22 second harvest, which second harvest fruit is not as impactful as the first. So if you can imagine, honestly, how perfumed the 22 vintage was, but the 23, you just tasted it through. It didn't seem like I didn't hear him complaining. Did you guys hear him complaining?
I am not complaining one bit.
No. I'm delighted you're here, Will.
Cow, this is freaking good.
Oh, he's fun when he comes to town. I hope he'll come back more often.
Oh, you know what?
And that, the guest house, just let me know in advance.
Honestly, Lisa, I love talking to you.
Oh, thanks.
Like,
it's fun.
The conversation that we have is just natural. It's just flowing, and you're very energetic. I'm ADD.
There we go. That's what he meant by the ADD comment
There's
earlier.
a lot of squirrels in this area right now.
No squirrels here at all. Way too many foxes out here.
But I mean, when I first met you, and I'm going to be very honest, when I first met you, I'm like, wow, she is too much.
That's too much.
But I met you the second time. We got to actually sit down and chat a little bit, and I see your passion.
Oh,
I see your love.
Yeah.
And I see where you're going at. And sometimes people see that and they see it in a different light.
Right.
And they need to stop for just a moment and see who you are and say, this woman is very passionate about what she's doing. And she's passionate about what she wants to bring to the table. She's passionate about what she wants to bring to Texas.
Yes.
And that's what you're doing. And again, I've been waiting since May to do this episode with you. And when we did that panel, I even waited more. I got more excited. That's why I was like, we got to do this.
Yeah.
I mean, you remember the
fun
conversation?
And very different panel, though, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah, three ladies from very
Which
different, all different perspectives on a vineyard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so after that conversation with you, I was like, I have to sit down and talk with you and have this conversation with you. And there's several different winemakers out there that I need to have more episodes than just one with. You're going to be one of those. You're going to be one of those.
Welcome back.
It's just, I love talking to you. Your passion of wine, global, not just Texas.
Yeah.
But global wine is so amazing. It's so, what's the word I'm looking for?
Consuming. It can be positive or negative.
Thrilling. It's thrilling.
Yes.
Because
Thank you.
people don't understand sometimes that wine is not just something you just drink and get drunk off of.
Yeah.
It's about the bonding of people.
Yes.
And
Ideally.
Ideally, yes. I have met so many people on my wine journey. It's not even funny, and it's interesting getting to talk to people like you, and
Thanks.
especially at your caliber. I mean, I feel like now I'm like, here's you, and I'm like, hey, how's it going up there?
I'm the one out there digging in the dirt every day, my friend.
I've done my fair share of digging the holes out there.
And you said next year maybe you're coming back for harvest. Although let's be clear, my harvest is pretty freaking for not me. That the Malay part is not the people who come and help me harvest. So I do bring in volunteers. I told you about this, and we start early because it's August. It's hot, but however, we work about 4 hours, and I always have live music. I personally cook for you a 3-course lunch and wine and beer, and people just. I relish that element of community. And that really is from my time in Italy. We're going from neighbor to neighbor. Everybody had their vines. We'd go and we'd harvest. And the mamas would bring out the pasta. And it was just such a time. The community could not be defined any other way. And in some places there, everybody's little, personal garden had 3 rows of vines. And it all went into the big community vats. And that was just that town's co-op wine.
Wow.
And they make wine, and then you go back after it's wine, it's in the huge tank, and you take your demijohn, which is a 5-liter thingy or a 20-liter. They have them all different sizes, and it's like a gas tank. You open it up and you put your wine in it.
Run your credit card through that. Put your pin number in.
No. You just find out. You deposited however many half tons or whatever it is, and so that's your portion. And you go every week, and that's your table wine. And your wine, which is your wine with everybody else's wine. So it's truly the community. Yes. And I think globally that is defined different ways. Here in the Texas Hill Country, I look at all my colleagues, my friends, and my neighbors, and I think of them truly as my community. I know I refer people to them. I try to represent and sell their stuff and help them. I feel like it's done reciprocally here. And so every community is different, but I think ultimately the best thing is sharing a glass.
Oh, yeah, 100%. And I love having a glass with you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you. So, in closing, is there anything that we missed or I missed that you want to talk about that's near and dear?
Near and dear to me are some of the small events that I do out here. So I still do farm to tables because I can't break myself of the solemn habit. And so I love bringing a combination of food and wine to people. And so when I do them, they're rarely just sit down and farm to table where you sit in your chair and I just hork food at you for 5 courses. Instead, actually, I make you work for a little bit, and that we move and we do different locations on the property, and we explore different courses, 2 or 3 of them out and about. For example, for the wild game one, which is typically about now, we go down and we smell in the draw like who was there, and we talk about it. And we also have a wild game course there with a wine. Then we go up. I've done ones where we've done blind olive oil tastings along with toasting your own bread on a live fire. So there's an interactive element to what's going on here, partly because a little bit like Will. I mean, I don't like sitting still. This has been a long time sitting here, but
it has been a little over an hour now.
It's been a while, but I will say he's going to cut a lot of it out. I will say I like people to have a hand in it because you remember it more and you know you did something, and then that's impactful to you. And so we do those. Those are the farm to tables. But the other one I do is a vineyard stroll. And to my knowledge, and I've been around the world, I really have, and I only know a couple of people that will do this, as the person who runs the vineyard, owns the vineyard, plans the vineyard, does it, in that we start down at the bottom of the hill. We start talking holistic farming and ranching, because that's really important to me. That's how we develop this whole thing. Right. How do we make this land its own? And how do we care for it and husband it, shall I say, in a way that it produces what it should? Right. And so in our clearing and everything else, so we start with that conversation, and then we come up to where we are now. And up here, I make you craft bellinis from peach nectar that I made and peach brandy that I made. And we make a Cipriani recipe because when we lived in Italy, you know, I used the classic recipe, but I also bake you pecan shortbreads. So it's all of the things that are actually the hill country. It's not just wine.
I got to stop you for just a second.
He's wondering why I didn't make him cookies.
I want to know where this pecan shortbread is.
I know, see? I know. You need to tell me that's what we're doing. Come to one of the vineyard strolls. So we talk about the whole hill country up here. And what are we as farmers? What have we been? But then at this point, still, you actually get me walking through the vines with you. And so I will then take the group into the vines, and we talk about what's happening right now. Because there's always something happening right now.
Always something happening. Some
of the most fun ones to do, honestly, are in January. I know it's nippy. It is nippy. There's a fireplace right here. So we have our bellinis next to the fireplace. But you can see the beautiful, just stunning structure of the vine now. There's no leaves. There's no grapes. There's nothing hiding the actual thing I grow. And I think that's one funny thing. People think I grow grapes. I don't grow grapes, Will. I spend every ounce of my energy, my time, my money,
raising
my passion.
Children.
I raise vines, and they take control. They take management, and it's really important. So growing the vines means everything I'm doing is building towards the future. The grapes are kind of like a really awesome side hustle. Anyway, we talk about that, and then we go do an estate tasting, and that's the vineyard stroll on Saturdays at 10. So you can sleep in a little bit, and it's fun. So there's that. And also, call me. We do tastings and whatnot by appointment. But I'm here more often than you think.
Well, that's the next part I was going to say. So where can people find you at?
So diamondvineyards.co, not com, and not .wine, .co. Also on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok. There's a lot of things. I'm out there. My face seems to be much more present than sometimes I want it to be. But, come on. Sometimes I'm really dirty and tired, but join me anyway. And talk the world with me. It doesn't have to be just wine. Tell me about your experiences, your travels, your tastes, your passions. Your childhood.
When we get off this here, I'll tell you about this 30-year-old tequila I have in my house.
Oh,
it's
my
actually
God.
now 35
Did you bring it?
I'll tell you what.
I love tequila. Man.
I have 15-year-old tequila. We'll talk about that off there.
Okay.
Well, Lisa, it's been an honor you being here.
Thank you.
So, real quick.
You're here.
Yeah, I am here.
I'm honored you're here.
Well, thank you. It's again, I've really enjoyed your presence.
Thank you.
I've enjoyed talking to you. We've texted a lot. And sometimes it's funny just talking to you via text. I can hear your voice in my head.
Also, I'm not very good at this, so if you ever text me, forgive the misspellings. I don't know.
But
I do have a phone that also changes words. I swear to goodness. Did I tell you about the thing where I used to say you, and for no reason it changed it to you-ha? So no, Yahoo. It changed it to Yahoo. So hey, how are Yahoo? Really? I don't even know a time I've ever said that. So to be clear, if you get a weird text from Diamond Vineyards,
it's okay. She's not been drinking.
Really is the phone.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, okay.
Right. Well, I'm gonna hit my sponsors real quick.
Do it.
Texas Wine Lover. Are you part of them? Jeff is.
Yes, I am.
Such
I'm
great
on his list. And he's a fantastic friend.
Oh, Jeff,
great wine person.
I love Jeff. Back when Amy was still with it, I talked to Jeff a lot. We got to hang out with Jeff. In fact, actually, I was with Jeff at Michael Ross when you invited me over here.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And we had a great time. And I love Jeff.
Jeff came and helped harvest this year.
Oh, he did.
Heck yeah.
Well, he lives like an hour away from.
He's in Bernie.
Yeah. So Texas Wine Lover app. If you're looking for a winery, especially here in Hill Country,
yes.
Look on there. You can find Diamond Vineyards on there. Come out here. Give Lisa a call. Come and visit her. And if you want to have a weekend of drinking wine, use the app.
Use the app. It's great. He sets you up with paths.
Yeah.
And coupons are options.
Yeah. And then you got
links to get in touch.
Filter out what you're looking for and stuff. Yeah. If you go food or pet friendly or handicap accessible, whatever, it's on there.
Fantastic.
And then another one I have is High Camp Flask. I actually forgot to bring this with me. So this thing, okay, so do you remember the old Coleman thermos back in the 70s and 80s? So it looks just like it.
Okay.
Both ends come apart, are magnetic tumblers on the end.
Fantastic.
You open it up, and it's vacuum sealed, and it actually holds the wine up to 24 hours at perfect temperature. I put this to the test because when I hear this, I'm like, no.
Okay, define perfect temperature. So you put a bottle of champagne in there, just keep it 45?
68.
Okay.
Red wine.
Okay, red wine, perfect
You can't put
temperature.
anything that's got carbonation into it because it'll swell it.
Okay.
So anything white or red, no carbonation.
Okay.
So
and 65 degrees.
It holds it about 68 to 70 degrees.
Okay.
So we put a bottle of Barbera.
Right.
Went out to Mosquito Lake.
Okay.
We did some work out there. We had it in the sun. I mean, I literally set this in the sun so it didn't warm up on purpose. I want to test this. I want to know what this is really like.
Does it work?
So we've been sitting there working on the cabinet and stuff. And me and my stepdad goes over. We open up, pull the ends off, and we pour it off. And first off, when you open the cap, it releases pressure.
Oh,
that's a good sign.
That is a good sign.
So him and I poured a little bit, and I'm like, okay, here we go. And we actually drank it, and you know what? It was still cool.
Refreshing.
It wasn't hot.
Delightful.
Because it's been sitting in the sun. It was still nice and cool.
And the ends are the cups.
Yes.
Even better.
It's a tumbler. So and then you put it in this nice little felt bag, and you put it back in your box, and you have it ready to go. So you can go on to the next picnic or your next little adventure. So that's High Camp Flask.
High Camp Flask.
Absolutely amazing thing. And I'm actually working on a deal with them right now, so I can start selling it myself.
Fantastic.
I love this product. It's one of my favorites.
Because people could use it because it also keeps things warm.
Yeah.
Right. So you're going hunting, and you want to put your mulled wine in there,
or keep your coffee.
You can keep coffee, or hot toddies.
Yeah.
I guess I was thinking differently because I'm a psalm, and I always think about ways that you can incorporate. All right, never mind. And what's the other? Who else do we have to say hi to?
And the other one is Old Vine, Texas, which you just signed a little deal with Eric.
Yeah.
And I'm excited about that.
I'm so excited about that.
I need to talk to Eric because I need a finder's fee for that one.
Maybe. Yeah. Diamond Vineyards is going to be part of the December disbursement.
And that's
maybe
amazing.
Also a special surprise, so we'll see.
Ooh, surprises are awesome. But Eric curates the best of Hill Country wines and brings it to the North Texas because people don't want to drive 4 hours to the Hill Country.
But he has them from all over Texas.
Yes, he has.
And I think
all
that's
over
something
Texas.
that's very honorable and something we need to mention.
Yeah.
And the goal is not, right now he's 16 wineries, but his goal is 60.
Mm-hmm.
But he's also moving into his plan and his strategy, all of which is currently being enacted, is so much bigger and more wonderful. And it's all representing that which is the passion of Texas spirit.
Yes. I freaking love that. I'm going to have to get Eric to do his promo for my show.
Okay. There you go. I mean, he's fantastic. And Emily is just
amazing.
a shining star.
Oh, yeah.
And no, they're delightful. Mansfield.
Yes, Mansfield,
But
Texas.
I haven't been to Mansfield in, I don't know, so many years. I don't even remember. But it was really fun visiting with them.
Yep.
And right next to Ransom, my youngest son now, he's up in Arlington. So I got to see both. It was a double doozy. Loved that. And but I'm very honored to be with them.
I'm excited about that.
For this disbursement. So you guys, in a month, Diamond Vineyards, Tempranillo. I think he's doing the Tempranillo. So he just, you saw his face. So
you saw my
just you wait.
So now we're going to go ahead and start closing this episode.
Okay, close it up.
At the end of each episode, we do wine quotes.
A wine? Oh, that's right. Tell me.
Okay, so I've got some
I'm
really good
wrapped.
ones. This actually goes in with what we're talking about here.
Okay.
All right, so Texas doesn't just make wine. We make a bottle, a little bit of our wild spirit in every pour.
Yeah.
I mean, that's especially for you.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, and then this one right here is one of my favorite ones.
Okay.
A sunset in your glass, a story every sip. Texas wine is a taste of home.
We're at my home. You watch the sunset, and we have so many stories.
Oh, yeah.
We've lost track.
Yeah, we lost track
We
of
were
time.
off the track so many
Actually,
times.
I was given a signal in the back like
So
20
many
minutes
times.
ago.
Get in the story. Lovely.
Well, Lisa, it has been an honor having you on the show. Thank you for coming on here. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule just to sit down and do this. It's been an honor. And it's been a
Come
pleasure.
back every time.
I will
Promise?
definitely do that. Yes.
There's always wine.
There will always be wine.
Cheers.
Cheers. This is Will.
And Lisa.
This is We Know Texas Vino. Cheers.
We do. Cheers.